agenda and facilitate. Distractions is my body is also sore from exercise. To clarify that, and I'll pass it on to Suga.
Hey everybody, my intentions are to find out where my child's bus stop is, and my distractions are to stay up to speed on what's going on in Giveth governance. And I will pass it to Jake.
Thank you. Intentions, I want to hear more from Fershell on logging the hours, and distractions. Weather's a little cold today. It's making the house cold. Let me pass it to Nicola.
Thanks, Jake. Well, my intention is to get together with the team, go through the agenda, see what needs my attention, and I have no distractions. We'll see. Maybe the cat will come again. There is a cat coming to the Giveth house. It's a neighbor cat. I'm passing it to Almond.
Thanks, Nicola. My intention is also to hear more about clockified updates and discussion, and my distraction is that I'm still a little bit with the flu, but much better. And I'll pass it to Kai.
I have no real intentions and distractions, just one thing. Hey, Burning Man, like, is everyone okay? Like, what's happening there? Does anyone know? Just asking.
Everyone's fine. They left. They left on Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, okay, thanks for the update. I give it to Ashley.
Thanks, Kai. My intentions for the call are I'm actually really interested in this agenda item that you proposed about partnerships and how we deal with them as an organization. I think it's something that we haven't had much clarity on, has been part of like different working groups and then its own working group, and how are we going to handle that? I feel like a lot of the working groups are taking on portions of that, so it's an interesting topic for me. And to stream this call and see what else is up that maybe I didn't know about. And my distractions is just getting ready for the ambassador section after this. And I will pass it over to Nicola. No, did you already go?
I think it's just me.
Oh, Franco.
I'll take it. Thanks, Ash. My intentions for the call is, well, first of all, I have this one transaction on the multisig that I don't know what it is. It's kind of like a Gitcoin trying to like sign into a passport thing. I don't know if I should sign it. And yeah, just a friendly reminder, this Wednesday, we're going to have the Dev Connect planning thing. And yeah, I guess that's it. And just go through the agenda. No distractions whatsoever. I'll give it back to you, Mitch.
Okay, cool. I'm trying to find this thing that you're talking about right now. Which multisig was it on?
I'm sending you a link now.
Okay, great.
It's on the... Okay. Yeah, there's a link.
Cool. Well, let's talk about this. So there is a Dev Connect planning meeting. I just posted it there. Make sure you sign it up and add it to your calendar if you want to join in the planning. Do you want everybody to join, Franco, or just people who are helping to plan?
I mean, there's at this point, there's a lot of questions that are not like answered, and I know that a lot of people like threw in some like questions inside the type form as well. So if anybody had like something that is not very clear, maybe you should be coming, because like, to be honest, like even to me, like, it's not 100% clear, but we're getting there, So yeah, like if you have any questions, you should be definitely coming to the meeting.
Okay, cool, got it. Okay, cool. Well, then we'll move into this topic that I wanted to handle, and around partnerships and integrations with other organizations. Just some context on this. Like I was talking with Lauren the other day, and she was like wanted to do this Polygon QF round, and I was like, okay, sounds great. But how do we actually handle, like when we're doing partnership or an integration, how do we like have consensus with the rest of the DAO that we would like to engage in a partnership with another organization? Thinking specifically to hear in the notes of like what happened with Gitcoin and Shell. Like that's obviously a huge exaggeration, but that was an example of like their fundraising crew not really connecting with their community and then having this huge PR disaster for the organization and losing a lot of reputation. So coming out of that question, or that problem as an example, I was like, how should we handle this between ourselves now that we have all these autonomous groups building and you know making partnerships on their own, or you know, so on and so forth. What I've started doing, just to maybe like as an example, is like when I have like a partnership or integration proposal, I just like I post it on the forum and I make people aware that this is happening and like feel the pushback or anything, and then like it's not really asking for permission, but more of like making people aware and like, you know, gathering sentiment on it, but like still probably going to keep doing it unless there's like massive pushback. And that's kind of what I've been going to, but I'm open to other ideas or however people want to think of it. What do you guys think?
So in the blockchain space, it's usual that people are aligned because they use the blockchain for certain reasons, and that's why we never really had to say no. I think maybe once or twice. I do it in a similar way than you, but I don't post it on the forum. I usually go to a person that's in a work group that's relevant or something like that. I had a concept in the past. It was called something with a cookie. Like an opportunity is a cookie, and you pass the cookie yourself. Like you cannot have stale cookies.
Okay. Need to find this cookie analogy somewhere.
Oh, I'll dig it up.
I don't know. What do you think, Ashley? Like, I know you had lots of questions.
Yeah, I mean, for me in the past, basically what I've done, I've had, you know, plenty of people that come into the Discord. They're like, hey, our project's doing this. Like, we should collaborate with Giveth, or maybe we could have a partnership or something like this. And usually my first approach is one of two options. It's like either I try to schedule them for a community spotlight so they can come explain what their project does. We can all ask questions, see if it's something that fits with Giveth, and then determine next steps. Or two, I usually have them make a forum post that explains like what their proposal is and all the different options, so that way the community can engage in advice process there. So I try to create some sort of avenue that they can go into like more of a community advice process. Then the people who might know the best people to connect them with then can like step up and make connections and take it from there. So that's kind of been my approach so far, but I know that that's maybe it's not like a solidified process, and it's just like a first step into getting the community's eyes on a potential partnership. But any steps after that, I don't really have anything defined. It's just like, okay, who's going to champion the partnership or be the, you know, the one that's overseeing the communications with like the person of contact, which so far has usually been Jake or someone in comms.
And I'll add in on that. What I've been doing too, since I handle a lot of these partnerships or they're funneled to me, is again, I'll usually have the frontline conversation, get on a chat with them, find out what they're thinking for the partnership or what we would want to see from that partnership. And then I do go to the working group that I think it's going to be most integrated with. But I do like your step then, Mitch, of like, well, it shouldn't just be that working group or myself or Ash or whoever is on the front line. let's get the entire DAO involved, and the best way to do that then would be create a forum post. So there should be maybe that one additional step to get more eyes on this thing than just one working group and myself or the frontline person.
I like that like basically a working group has to own it. It's like you do the front line and then a working group like, takes it and like runs with it and there's like some sort of agreement there.
But since we are a DAO, it makes sense to have all eyes on it, just because, for example, using even Planet here recently with Almond, I went to Almond because I knew it was going to be mostly comms and maybe some Twitter spaces and et cetera, et cetera. But if it becomes like Planet wants to upload onto the platform and now it becomes maybe Communitas, but Ashley wasn't aware of it at all, then that's not right either. She should at least be aware of it or something like that. So yeah, there probably needs to be another step to make sure that in the future, just because it's a comms partnership maybe right now, it doesn't mean that it might not be a DApp or a community builders working group as well. Kind of like maybe forced into it, say. That's a pretty aggressive word, but we don't want to get to that level.
Yeah, and the other technicality that I want to move on from is that like comms isn't a working group, so it's like either it's a give economy thing, like the ETH staker guy that came here. I'm sorry, Alman. Or the doing the superfluid or Solana or whatever have you, or maybe it's just Communitas, just like community building or something. So it's like because comms doesn't have their budget and they don't have any like expectations, it's better that it just falls into a working group and then they work with like comms from there, which is a new process, I understand.
Sorry. I wanted to say, I don't know. I think that definitely we should try to establish some sort of process that everyone follows, because I know that with Communitas, Ashley and I have been discussing that it would be great if we can be more proactive in the partnerships instead of just taking or rejecting the ones that we get. So we actually wanted to pursue some more partnerships for us to get more to gain more reach and stuff. So if that's the case, then what would be a good process? Discuss it in Communitas call, in Comms call, or post it in the forum as well, in the case of being more proactive with initiatives. And in the other hand, with the Polygon partnership, as you were saying, I was talking to Surbi that in this specific case, I don't really think that would be a positive if we share these on our communications, just because this quadratic funding round is going to be closed. And I would say that would affect our community with not a very positive sentiment, right? As no one else is going to be able to participate. So in this case, would be good to have a forum post at least to know what would be the best way to move forward with specific things like these that might not be taking very well outside. So yeah.
Like that's part of the thing. Like I know Lauren's not here, but it's like, oh, we're gonna run a Polygon down that's closed, and only Polygon gets to pick, what projects they want. And it's like Lauren can run a working group, and she, has the thing on that, but it's like there's some sort of sentiment gathering that should happen there. At least that she has an idea of like what the DAO or the community thinks of it if she's going to go ahead with something, and not just her talking to Polygon and then her making the call, as an example.
Maybe also in the forum post, it should be required to have the poll or the vote in it as well. Just I know that's very technicality, but not just like, hey, it's been posted, go leave your comments, but some kind of voting mechanism.
Like a yes, no, abstain, just something simple.
Something simple. Because I think you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we all, if we're continuing to use Polygon as an example, I think we agree that, yeah, it's pretty nice that Polygon's going to donate 80,000 for a matching pool. And I think we're all pretty jazzed about that. But you are right; it could come off as like, unless Lauren's doing all of the work for it, it's going to take others to be involved with it, and therefore you want to make sure everybody is equally jazzed about it.
Yeah, I agree. Especially in this example, I would like to avoid for future having like a bomb dropped like this, but at least having a little bit of a space somewhere to discuss like how to approach. So I agree that the forum post before moving forward with partnership, especially the ones that will involve a whole team or like more people's bandwidth, makes a lot of sense to put it on a forum. And also just I can just like compliment what Ashley said. Every time that someone approaches, I either like provide them with offering to the spotlight or do the forum post, which actually happened just today. The conference forum post was posted just today after I replied to an email. They were super fast, and like that's one of the ways I think it works. But especially in terms of working groups, the forum post can be very good for us to not only help to us to be aligned across the teams, but make sure that the whole team is on board, and if there are any concerns that they are addressed.
At the end of the day, our Giveth as like an organization is affected by every partnership that we make, you know, so it's not siloed to just quadratic funding or the DApp or Communitas. So it's cool to involve everybody, at least to see it and understand it and say something if you have something to say.
Yes. Agreed.
Okay. Cool. Does anyone have anything else, or maybe a counter argument or a different way that we should do it other than the form? I talked to Lauren about it, for example, and she was very resistant about making a forum post, saying that it was not scalable, it was overly bureaucratic. I don't know. So maybe there's a different way that we can handle it, or maybe this is the right way. I'm not sure.
I mean, I think I see like Lauren's point though about being over bureaucratic, but it's just that like specifically with this example, like Give Economy are not having the regular calls, and like this is where like it should be happening, right? So maybe just like happening in the channel like by like as a message, it was like not enough like communication about it. I don't know. I'm just thinking like trying to understand Lauren as well. But because like quadratic funding is like, I mean, I guess it's under their scope, you know, doing like running another round. We knew it was going to happen. Just the details, you know, about it. Maybe they could have been discussed in, you know, I don't know, like I couldn't join the call that you had about the quadratic funding. I had, you know, like, but yeah.
Yeah. To her benefit, though, they kind of dropped the bomb on us. They're like, hey, I know you're on vacation, but we want this by October 1st. So she also had a bomb dropped on her with this as well.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Nicola.
Yeah. And just at the same time, I remember she was mentioning that she's been talking to Polygon for a month. So it could be easily already, you know, I guess, discussed, something that could have been discussed. I understand also her points because having only 3 weeks to go through this whole process, you know, it's slowing everything down. And if there was a chance, we could have started this discussion earlier and reduce people's stress who are supposed to participate in it. I think that's the way to go.
Okay. Cool. I want to leave it there because we have a limited amount of time for this call. But this was really good. I think I understand everybody's point here. There's only this one thing that Franco was linking here. Anyway, this thing here, Franco? On my screen, is that what you're talking about?
No. It's one transaction that only has 3 signatures. It's like a sign, like I can share my screen so you can see it if you want. Wait, give me a second.
Oh, maybe it's up here in this one.
That one, yeah. Off-chain signature. I don't know what that is.
I think Amin was trying to sign in with sign into Gitcoin
Okay.
with this. I'll ask Amin about it.
Okay.
Apart from that, there's just a few random ones here that just need one more signature, like claiming safe tokens on liquidity multi-sig, and our matching multi-sig just needs one more signature. You can sign it and then I can run it later when gas is cheaper, but just that last 7th signature and then we can run these all. And there's nothing in the inner give, there's nothing snapshot, give garden's fine. Okay, cool. Then maybe we can dive right into this next one. Monthly time reporting. So I asked Fischel and Nico to put this up since we were making lots of changes in DAO ops about how we're getting people to fill out Clockify, and some people were complaining and they had problems and they didn't understand what the hell they're supposed to do. So maybe this forum post was hopefully going to clarify some things and give people a space to voice their concerns rather than just complaining in DMs. So I won't, well, you could read here, you can go through the problem and everything. We explained it very well when we were doing those sub-DAO calls about some of the problems. You know, we used Coda for a while and it was super buggy. And so there's some stuff here, like the biggest changes for you guys will be things like these admin tasks that you all sort of do, working group calls, new contributor onboarding, development, DevOps, communications, and design. So all of these have their own section inside of each working group. So like if you're doing development or comms or design, you can just tag that project under like, you know, DApp or Give Economy or whatever have you. Or if you have like the weekly call, you can tag it under there as well. Then there's stuff for leads. So like the leads like Almond or Monique or Kai, the stuff that you spend just like doing admin for your working group, like facilitating the calls and assigning issues and all that stuff, can go under these special categories just for you. And then we'd encourage as much like people to allocate their hours, if you're not a lead, into like a working group, even if it's just like broadly or on a weekly basis, you know, that's fine. That's great. And then the last thing that we want to try here is all of these random ones, like buddy review calls, community calls, forum posts, governance call, paid time off, etc., etc. You just tag them as normal under this thing it used to be, I don't know. I changed it to contributors be contributing because it's just regular stuff that you do. And then it'll just be, this is not important for you per se, but just to understand, it's like we take that and then that amount there, and then we divide it by like where you spent your time for the rest of the month. So like if you have maybe 15 hours in this whole category here and you spent 50% of your time in comms, in Communitas, and 50% of your time in Give Economy, then we split that 15 up and we go, okay, in a spreadsheet, like off, 7.5 hours here and 7.5 hours there. And then we just like split it up outside of Clockify, making it easier. So basically this is just Fischel explaining all of this here. So that's just some of the changes, and we're still figuring it out. We're still listening to people, but yeah, I just wanted to make a space for it. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
Yes, I have one, but it's very specific. Is okay, or should I?
Sure, maybe I can answer it.
So as comms really does not have anything, I was thinking of all the time that Algene and myself and C spend with social media. And I've been discussing with Ashley and working with her about the marketing campaigns, because as they're very related with the community, of course, we need Ashley's and Communitas team input on these, right? To make it aligned and on the same page with Giveth community. So I was thinking that maybe we could add all those hours of social media to Communitas communication slot, because really we don't have a slot for that, and we spend a lot of time on that.
Sure. We can make it social media if you want, but Communitas does have a communications thing that you can tag. Or do you want something different?
Well, I was thinking on that, so I would say that's fine. Just I wanted to touch base with you both, Ashley, and you to see if this was like a good way to move forward.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, and then for like social media stuff that you're doing, like for the DAP, which probably isn't very much, but you probably do some for like quadratic funding and for Give Economy. Will you be able to just tag those hours under there as well, like into those different working groups?
Yeah, we're already doing that. For the marketing campaigns of the DAP is the same effort that we are partnering with Communitas, just FYI, because again, at the end is an input that needs Communitas input. But that's same effort that we post on the marketing DAP proposal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else, Ashley? Others? Okay. I'm going to be passing this forum post around since they're all the right people are here. There's a few other things. Are these related? Presence, conference, they've got a lot of threes in them. Is this the same person? So there's a Presence Web3 ad network. Go ahead, Ashley. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just going to say the presents, these are the people that came to the community spotlight, not last week, but the week before or something, talking about the different ads and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
the recording. Go ahead.
I can see there are different names. And the person who posted the update about the conference proposal today was just a request that we received through email, to give it. And I said, if you want to talk about collaboration, come to the spotlight. If it's more financially, it's more about financial contribution of the DAO, please post in proposal. And so I just maybe comment on this. I saw that there is a lot of people faces from conventional space like Bosch and all these like companies we all know very well.